It's 2:17 a.m., the kind of hour where the city's pulse slows to a whisper, and secrets slither out from under the floorboards. I'm Detective Aria Voss, badge number 4782, with the Harbor City PD's Major Crimes Unit. I've stared down cartel bosses, chased ghosts through fog-shrouded alleys, and pieced together the shattered lives of the forgotten. But nothing prepares you for the moment you walk into your own childhood home unannounced, and find your world cracked wide open like a fault line in the earth. My mother's hands, trembling over a sink full of soapy dishes, marked with bruises blooming like ugly violets. Her left eye, swollen shut, a purple shadow that screams what words never will. And in that split second as she turns and whispers, "Don't worry about me, Aria. Go back to your shift, I see it all, years of silence, swallowed screams, and a father's empire built on bones." But here's the hook that reels you in deeper. While she's hiding her pain in the suds, he's out there on a gleaming white yacht called Serpent's Whisper, champagne flutes clinking with his latest plaything, oblivious to the storm I've been brewing. This isn't just a story. This is my reckoning. And by the end, you'll wonder, how many shadows lurk in your own harbor? I never planned to become the hammer that shatters a family. Growing up in the salt-kissed sprawl of Harbor City, where the ocean mocks the land with its endless churn, home was supposed to be sanctuary. Our house on Elmwood Drive, a sprawling Dominican with gables like crooked fingers, overlooked the bay, where Daddy's construction cranes danced like metallic spiders against the skyline. Dominic Ravello, my father, wasn't just a builder. He was a visionary, or so the society pages gushed. Ravello Developments turned marshy lots into million-dollar marinas, shoddy scaffolds into skyline-defining condos. He had the Midas touch, or at least that's what his Rolodex of politicians and real estate sharks whispered over Scotch neat. But behind those polished oak doors, Dominic ruled with a blueprint of control, every room a sight under his unyielding supervision. I was 8 the first time I learned the weight of his silence. Mommy, Elena, with her soft auburn curls and laugh like wind chimes, had burned the roast that Sunday. Nothing major, just a char at the edges from juggling his endless calls while the oven ticked like a bomb. Dominic didn't yell. Oh no, that would be too messy, too human. He simply vanished. Dinner plate stacked untouched, his chair pushed back like an accusation. He slept in the den, the guest room, the yacht club lounge, anywhere but with us. For 3 days, the house echoed with absence, a vacuum that sucked the air from our lungs. Elena tiptoed, her smiles brittle as autumn leaves, whispering apologies to the empty air. He's under pressure, sweetheart. The Elmwood project, those permits are a nightmare. I'd nod, small fists clenched under the table, learning the first rule of Ravello House. Disappear before the storm hits. By 10, I was his shadow apprentice. Weekends meant trailing him to sites, hard hat slipping over my braids, while he barked orders at crews sweating under the summer haze. See that beam, Aria? Precision. One slip, and the whole structure crumbles. His lessons weren't gentle. They were etched in rebar and regret. I remember the day little Tommy Ruiz, a subcontractor's kid, tumbled from a half-assembled deck. Dominic's face didn't flinch. Accidents build character, he muttered, slipping a wad of cash to the foreman for the quiet fix. Tommy's arm in a cast for months, but no reports filed. That was Dominic. Problem solved with envelopes, not empathy. Elena bore the brunt in ways I couldn't yet fathom. I'd catch her in the laundry room, sleeves rolled up, dabbing at split lips with ice wrapped in dish towels. "Clumsy me, tripped on the rug again," she'd say, her green eyes darting like cornered deer. But kids sense the fractures. I'd hide in my closet, knees to chest, listening to the low rumble of his voice through the walls. Not shouts, but that velvet menace. "You think you can embarrass me, Elena? After everything I've given." The next morning, she'd hum old jazz tunes while folding his shirts, starched to perfection, as if the night had been a dream. School was my escape hatch. I buried myself in books. Nancy Drew mysteries, where girls with flashlights unraveled the world's knots. Teachers noticed my hunger. Mrs. Delgado, with her sharp bob and sharper wit, slipped me extra library passes. You're going places, Aria. Don't let the harbor drag you under. By high school, I was captain of the debate team, valedictorian bound, but Dominic had other plans. College? Waste of time for a girl. You'll marry well, help with the business. His words landed like lead weights, pinning my dreams to the drafting table. The breaking point came at 17. Elena's fall down the basement stairs, a twisted ankle that kept her off her feet for weeks. Dominic conveniently away on business. I confronted him in the study, rain lashing the windows like accusations. What are you doing to her, Dad? She's not one of your projects. His eyes, steel gray and unyielding, fixed on me. The backhand was swift, a crack like splintering wood. My cheek bloomed hot, but it was his whisper that scarred. You forget your place, Aria. This family is mine to build or break. I didn't cry. I planned. 18 dawned with rebellion. Against his edicts, I enrolled in the police academy. The application form felt like a declaration of war, inked in black defiance. Dominic found out via misplaced brochure. His rage was a cold front, freezing me out for months. No birthday cake, no college fund. Just Elena's tear-streaked hugs in the kitchen. He's proud, in his way, baby. Give him time. But time was the one resource he couldn't hoard. Academy drills became my church. Tactical takedowns, forensic simulations, the crisp snap of cuffs locking fate. For the first time, chaos had structure. I thrived. Top of my class in crisis negotiation, empathy scores off the charts. Voss, you've got a gift for seeing the unseen, my sergeant grunted, clapping my shoulder after graduation. Little did he know, it was forged in fire. My rookie year on patrol was a baptism by brutality. First domestic call, a cramped apartment in the Docks district, screams spilling into the night like oil slicks. I kicked in the door to find Lila Ramirez, 25, curled fetal on the linoleum, her boyfriend's boot print fresh on her ribs. He lunged, wild-eyed and whiskey-fueled. I sidestepped, cuffed him clean. As paramedics wheeled her out, our eyes locked. Mirrors of Elena's haunted gaze. Why didn't I leave sooner? She whispered, gripping my hand. That night, badge heavy on my chest, I vowed, no more shadows unchallenged. But home? It festered. Dominic's empire swelled. Ravello Development swallowed competitors like krakens. His name etched on brass plaques from the bay to the bluff. Whispers followed, delayed payments to crews, corners cut on safety inspections. I filed it away, a mental dossier. Then the catalyst, a tip from an old academy buddy, now in white collar. Your old man? He's got shell companies funneled through the Caymans. Offshore yachts aren't cheap, Aria. My blood ran mercury. I started digging, off books of course. Late nights in the precinct's dim-lit records room, cross-referencing permits with bank wires. Patterns emerged. Dominic laundering profits through dummy core, bribing inspectors for expedited approvals. And the women? Not just Elena. A parade of secretaries turned mistresses, each with a payout clause and a non-disclosure gag. Sophia Lang was the latest siren in his symphony. 28, leggy blonde with a realtor's smile sharp as a stiletto, she'd slithered into his orbit 2 years prior, consulting on luxury flips. I pieced it together from overheard calls, Elena's averted eyes, weekend getaways on the Serpent's Whisper, deeds quietly transferred to Sophia's name. Jealousy? No. Fury. For every bruise on my mother's soul, I'd stack evidence like bricks in a wall. It built slowly, a fortress in the dark. I enlisted Marcus Hale, a shark of a lawyer from the public defender circuit, who'd traded plea bargains for civil suits after burning out on the grind. We met in dive bars off the beaten harbor path, nursing black coffee and case files. This is dynamite, Voss, he'd mutter, spectacles fogging over spreadsheets. Fraud, embezzlement, hell, endangerment if those scaffold collapses hold up. Our first witness. Javier Morales, ex-foreman fired after questioning a rigged bid. Over tacos in a taqueria haze, he spilled, "Your dad? Paid me 20 grand to bury the Elmwood fatality. Kid named Rico, beam snapped, crushed him flat. Accident, he called it. But I saw the welds. Aria. Faulty from the start. Layer by layer. Bank records subpoenaed under alias. Photos of Sophia sunning on the yacht deck while Elena scrubbed grout alone. Elena resisted at first. He's your father, Aria. Blood's thicker than ink. But one night, post-shift, I found her ledger, meticulous tallies of loans Dominic siphoned, leaving her with grocery scraps. For the house, she justified. I slid the envelope across the table. Affidavits, wire transfers, even a recorded call where he threatened her with disinheritance. Her hands shook, but her nod was steel. Burn it all, baby. For us. The siege began at dawn, 48 hours after that unannounced homecoming. I'd pulled an all-nighter surveilling the yacht slip. Dominic and Sophia, tangled in laughter and lies, oblivious to the drone humming overhead, capturing timestamps for the affair's paper trail. My phone buzzed, Elena's text, a single emoji of a key. It was time. I strapped on my off-duty piece, badge tucked in my jacket like a talisman, and dialed Marcus. Initiate. Full throttle. First strike. Asset freeze. Marcus filed emergency motions in family court, citing irreparable harm. By noon, Dominic's accounts, personal, business, even the yacht's mooring fees, locked tighter than a vault. His broker called in a panic. I imagined Dominic's face purpling over his third martini. Subpoenas rained, IRS audits on the shells, labor board probes into worker comps. I served the first one myself, at his downtown office. Glass walls reflecting my unyielding stance. Detective Voss, his secretary stammered, but I brushed past, slapping the packet on his mahogany desk. He looked up, cigar paused mid-puff, recognition dawning like a gut punch. Aria? What the hell is this? I leaned in, voice low thunder. This, Dad, is accountability. For Mom. For Rico. For every corner you cut and life you cracked. He laughed, that booming boardroom baritone. But cracks spiderwebbed his facade. Family squabbles don't belong in court, girl. I'll have your badge. Threats flew. Private investigators tailing me home. Anonymous tips to my captain painting me as unstable, vendetta-driven. Media leaks, a fluff piece in the Harbor Herald. Heiress detective turns on tycoon father? But Valor Voice listeners, you know the truth. Truth doesn't leak. It floods. Elena's protective order hearing was the fulcrum. She arrived in a navy sheath, hair pinned like armor, but her fingers twisted the hem like lifelines. The judge, a no-nonsense widow named Hargrove, peered over half-moons. Mrs. Ravello, walk us through it. Elena's voice started fragile, a reed in wind, but gathered force. The isolations, the accidents, the financial cages. He'd say, "It's for your safety, love. The world chews up women like you." Gasps rippled the gallery, reporters. A few old crew hands. Javier had rallied. Dominic's counsel, a silk-suited weasel named Pritchard, cross-examined with velvet barbs. Isn't it possible, Mrs. Ravello, that your dependencies exaggerated these incidents? Elena met his gaze, unblinking. Dependencies? Try devotion, Mr. Pritchard. But devotion has limits. And mine ended when he raised his hand to my daughter. Hargrove's gavel cracked like fate sealing. Order granted, no contact, asset division pending, supervised visitation, if any. Dominic stormed out, but not before his glare bored into me. You'll regret this, Aria. Blood betrays. I smiled, cold as bay fog. Not this blood, Dad. Not anymore. The criminal pivot escalated like a squall. DA's office looped in after the freeze unearthed the big fish. $4.2 million laundered through Sophia's Consulting LLC, bribes to Port Authority for illicit imports. Turns out, Dominic dabbled in grey market marble. I led the raid on his yacht, SWAT breaching at 0600, me front and center, cuffs ready. Sophia shrieked from the master suite, silk robe slipping like her alibis. It's not what it looks like. Dominic, shirtless and snarling, lunged for a safe. I pinned him deckside, knee in his back. Going somewhere, Dad? The serpent sunk. Interrogations peeled layers. Sophia flipped first, tear-streaked deal for immunity. He promised me the world, detective. Deeds, diamonds. But it was all smoke. Her testimony cracked the shells wide. Transfers time to Elena's bad weeks, when bruises kept her housebound. Javier's crew corroborated the negligence. 3 collapses hushed, 5 workers maimed. Even a ghost from my past, Uncle Theo, Dominic's estranged brother, surfaced with ledgers from the 90s. He buried our partnership to climb solo, Aria. Time to dig it up. Trial loomed like a thunderhead. Federal court, Judge Elias Crow presiding. A grizzled vet with zero patience for white-collar wolves. Prosecution's case. A tapestry of docs, wires, witness stands teeming. I took the stand day 3, uniform crisp, voice steady as a compass. Your Honor, Dominic Ravello didn't just build empires. He built prisons. For my mother, for workers like Rico Alvarez, whose family still waits for justice. Cross-exam was Pritchard's circus. Detective, isn't this personal? A daughter's grudge. I leaned into the mic, eyes locked on Dominic's. Personal? Try principled. I've sworn to protect the vulnerable. Starts at home. Elena's testimony was the gut-wrench. She detailed the decades. The honeymoon idyll shattered by his first business trip infidelity, the slow erosion, no friends allowed, no job pursuits. I'd garden to cope, Your Honor. Tomatoes in summer. Basil whispering peace. But he'd uproot it all, call it frivolous. The gallery wept. Dominic shifted, chains clinking like his crumbling facade. Closing arguments thundered. D.A. Ramirez, Lila's sister, fate's poetic twist, eviscerated. Fraud, laundering, bribery, endangerment. Ravello's not a builder. He's a demolisher. Verdict. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing. 15 years federal, plus state time for domestics. Restitution. $2.8 million to victims. Rico's widow got the first check, enough for her kids' college. Fines gutted the remnants of his empire. Sophia. Community service, disbarred from realty, a pariah in pearls. In the aftermath, the harbor healed in whispers. Elena sold the Dominician, bought a cottage on the bluff. Wildflowers framing the porch, no echoes of control. Our first summer there, we planted heirloom tomatoes fat as fists, basil thick-scented, strawberries tart with promise. No timers, no inspections. Just dirt under nails and laughter unbridled. See, Aria? Roots reclaim, she said, wiping soil from her cheek. Bruise-free for the first time in memory. Me. Back to the badge, but transformed. Domestic calls hit different now. I linger, connect victims to the fund I seeded from Dominic's restitution. Valor Voices Against Violence. We call it. Shelters stocked, lawyers pro bono. Women like Lila stepping into light. Captain promoted me to lieutenant last spring. The precinct's my harbor now, steady and sure. But nights, when the bay laps restless, I think of that unannounced return. The bruises, the yacht's distant lights. Justice isn't fireworks. It's the quiet grind. Files in the dark, voices amplified. If you're listening, tangled in your own shadows, hear this. Open the door. Call the line. Your reckoning waits, not with thunder, but with the steady click of cuffs. Let's rewind further, Valor Voice family, because the roots of reckoning twist deep. Imagine 1998. Harbor City sweltering under a heat dome that turned the asphalt to molasses. I'm 6, pigtails frizzed, clutching a skip rope on the Elmwood lawn. Dominic's home early, rare as a blue moon. His Lincoln rumbling like a beast sated. Family barbecue, he booms, unloading crates of ribs and corn from the trunk. Elena beams, apron dusted with flour, her famous cobbler bubbling in the oven. Neighbors trickle over. The Patels with their spicy chutneys, Mrs. Kowalski bearing pierogies. Laughter bubbles, charcoal hisses, the bay a silver ribbon beyond. But Dominic's barbecues were performances, spotlit by his ego. He mans the grill like a general, flipping steaks with pronouncements. See this sear, folks? That's how you lead. Hot, decisive, no apologies. I chase fireflies in the dusk, but even then, I feel the undercurrent. Elena refills his plate third. He waves her off. Woman's place is serving, not sitting. Chuckles ripple. Polite. Poisonous. By night's end, as guests depart with Tupperware thanks, his mood sours. A neighbor, old Mr. Finch, dares compliment Elena's cobbler over Dominic's ribs. Best damn thing here. Dominic's jaw ticks. The drive to clear plates? Elena's fault, somehow. Flirting with fossils now? Embarrassing. I wake to muffled thuds from their room. Not full storms, but squalls. Peeking through the keyhole, Elena backed against the dresser, Dominic's finger jabbing like a piston. You undermine me, woman. In my house. She shrinks, whispers please. I scurry back to bed, heart hammering, vowing silence. Morning, Elena at breakfast, concealer caking a faint welt on her collarbone. Spatula slipped. Loves. Pass the syrup. These slips wove our tapestry. Age 9, I join brownies, earning badges in knots and nature. Dominic attends the ceremony, stiff in his seersucker, clapping mechanically. But the troop leader, Ms. Rivera, gushes to Elena. Aria's a natural leader. College scout material. Dominic's grip on my shoulder bruises. Home, he dissects. Leadership? For girls, it's support roles. You'll type for the firm someday. Elena intervenes softly. She's got your drive, Vic. Let her shine. His glare silences her. Dinner's eggshells thereafter. Subplot bruise. My secret ally emerges in cousin Lila. Elena's niece from the inland hills, visiting summers. Lila's a firecracker, 16 to my 10, with stories of city adventures and a hidden flask of rebellion. We'd sneak to the attic, poring over her contraband magazines. Cosmo quizzes on Am I in Love? And escape tales of runaways. Your dad's a control freak, squirt, she'd confide, puffing a pilfered cig. Aunt Elena deserves Paris, not this prison. Lila plants seeds. Dream big, Aria. Police. Spies? Sky's yours. Her visits end abruptly when Dominic discovers her influence. A locked gate. No more invites. But her letters smuggled via Elena fuel my fire. Break free, kiddo. Ravellos don't have to hoard hurt. 12 brings the first fracture I witness raw. Dominic's big bid, the Bayview Towers, teeters on a zoning snag. Stress leeches him hollow. Home becomes war zone. I return from school to Elena's sobs echoing from the garage. There, her cheeks split, blood trickling like accusation, Dominic looming with a wrench. You nagged about the bills again. My empire, your headache. He spots me, freezes. Out. Aria. Adult talk. I bolt but not before Elena's plea. Go, baby. Mommy's fine. That night, I stitch her cut with thread from my sewing kit. Clumsy, but hers. Promise me, she breathes. You'll never let a man dim your light. I nod, but inside, rage roots like knotweed. Academy whispers grow. High school crushes? Fleeting. Boys like Tommy Greer, quarterback with easy grins, invite dances. Dominic vets, not our class. I channel into track. Sprints blurring the pain, finish lines tasting freedom. Graduation night, valedictorian speech. Harbor City teaches resilience. Waves crash, but we rebuild stronger. Applause thunders. Dominic's there, nodding approval. But backstage his hug crushes. Proud kid. Now, business school, my alma. Elena's eyes plead apology. I choke. Actually, Dad, police academy. The silence? Nuclear. Fallout. Disownment light. No tuition, no car. Just Elena's clandestine savings, slipped in lunch bags. For your future, not his. Academy grind. Physicals that push lungs to fire. Psych evals probing scars. Family history of volatility? The shrink probes. I deflect. Just waves, document. I surf M. Bonds form, roommate Kendra, a Bronx transplant with tattooed resolve. We drill till dawn, sharing sob stories over ramen. My pops was a cop. Beat the bottle more than me, she confesses. Yours. I pause. Builds castles on sand. Rookie baptism, that Lila Ramirez call? Echoed home so loud. I debriefed with Kendra till sunrise. You saved her, Voss. Who's saving you? Her words haunt, propelling the file. First entry. Dominic's yacht registry. Serpent's whisper. Purchased cash via offshore. Coincidence? No. Elena's gifts. Jewelry pawned for mortgage. I shadow him incognito. Tail to club meetings. Noting envelopes to Councilman Reese. Tips snowball. Anonymous from a jilted mistress pre-Sophia. He buries bodies in paperwork. Girl. Dig. Marcus Hale enters stage left. 2022 winter. I'd caught his name in a pro bono seminar. White-collar wolves. Taming the beasts. Coffee meet. He scans my prelims, whistles. This ain't a divorce. It's Armageddon. But Elena? She your star. I nod. Scared but steel. We blueprint. Phase 1, domestics for leverage. Phase 2, financial autopsy. His office, cluttered with case law tomes, becomes war room. Pritchard's his fixer, Marcus warns. Slippery as eel. We go surgical. Sophia's thread unravels next. I pose as buyer for a flipper. Tour her listings, charm extracts. Dominic? Visionary. But demanding. A planted bug in her Mercedes, warrant via fraud pretext. Captures gold. Babe, Elena's sniffing. Stall her allowance. Bingo. Elena's buy-in seals it, that envelope night. Her signature on the petition a liberation bell. Phase 2 detonates Memorial Day weekend. Marcus files the civil suit. Dissolution of marital assets, fraud claims, elder abuse injunction. Dominic's counter? A PR blitz, billboards of family first, Ravello builds legacies, interviews decrying bitter daughters witch hunt. My captain hauls me in. Voss, this personal? IA's sniffing. I lay it bare, files, witnesses. Sir, it's principled. Ravello's poison seeps public. He grunts approval, but warns, badge first, blood second. Sophia cracks under prelim depot. Marcus grills in a conference room reeking of stale donuts. Ms. Lang, that deed transfer to the vineyard lot. Timed how exactly? She fidgets. Acrylics tapping. Business park. Vic's generous. He slides photos. Yacht trysts. Elena's hospital log synced. Generous? Or laundering via lover? Tears flow. She folds, adding perjury spice. He coached me. Deny, deflect. But the money. It was hush for the overlaps. Witness parade builds momentum. Javier Morales, day 1 depot. Burly, tattooed forearms crossed, voice gravel. Elmwood 09, Rico's shift. Beam groaned, snapped. Your dad. Pay the family, bury the report. I took the cash, hated myself since. His eyes haunted. For my kids, Aria. But Rico's ghost? It howls. We corroborate with OSHA ghosts, forged inspections, bribed seals. Then, the wild card. Tessa Klein, ex-secretary turned whistleblower. Mid-30s, mousy with a spine of titanium, she surfaces via Lila's network. Cousin Lila, now a social worker, my unsung hero. Tessa's tale. 2015 affair. Payoff NDA. But conscience clawed. He'd rant about Elena. Useless ornament. Then, the books. Shell Harbor Holdings Limited. Came en routed to his hobbies. Yacht. Mistresses. Political packs. Her docs. Smoking gun. Emails timestamped to Elena's ill days. Elena's arcs poignant. Post-order, she spirals. Therapy sessions I fund. Walks on the bluff where waves whisper forgiveness. I enabled him. Aria. Thought love was endurance. I counter. Love's not chains, Mom. It's the key you just turned. Our bond mends in fragments. Coffee dates dissecting recipes, her cobbler, tweaked spice. My stories of busts, redacted of course. One evening, cottage porch swing creaking. Proud of you, Lieutenant. For seeing what I blinded. Tears salt the sunset. Healing tastes like brine and basil. Dominic's desperation peaks pre-trial. Midnight call to my burner. Aria, listen. Family meeting. The yacht. Dawn. No lawyers. Trap. Or Hail Mary. I wire up. Kendra back up in a trawler shadow. Dawn fog cloaks the serpent. He boards alone, haggard, stubble silver. Daughter. I built this for you. Elena's weak. I protected. I play tape. Sophia's flip. Javier's oath. His mask slips. You think you're righteous? I made you. Confession spills, the bribes, necessary grease. The hits, discipline, not abuse, Rico, bad luck. Mike catches all. DA salivates. Got him, Kendra whispers post-cuff. Dominic's howl echoes over water. Betrayal. Trial week 1. Jury selection a chess match. Pritchard weeds bleeding hearts. We stack skeptics. Opening. DA Ramirez paints Dominic as Icarus. Wings of greed melted. Defense. Self-made man maligned by kin. Evidence montage. Wires flashing millions. Photos of bruises faded but damning. Javier's stand, voice breaking on Rico's name. Widow in gallery sobbing. Week 2, my testimony. Direct fire. Detective Voss motive? Justice. Counselor. 4 victims voiceless. Cross. Pritchard sneers. Personal vendetta? If protecting family is vendetta, guilty is charged. Jurors nod. Dominic squirms. Sophia's turn. Poise cracks under lights. I was complicit. Blinded by shine. Pritchard pounces. Gold digger's remorse? But her logs seal laundering. Elena's crescendo, direct, she recounts the weave, courtship charm, 92, beach bonfire, erosion, kids' births as burdens, nadir, my cheek slap. He said, Ravellos endure. But endurance isn't erasure. Cross withers, Hargrove, wait, Crow, sustains objections like shields. Gallery hushes. A mother finds voice. Climax. Closing. Ramirez thunders. Not builder, breaker. Sentence to rebuild trust. Pritchard whines privilege. Jury deliberates 18 hours. Longest in Crow's docket. Verdict dawn. Guilty echo. Sentencing spectacle. Victim's impact. Rico's widow. He took my world. Give me peace. Dominic's allocution. Regrets. But empire necessary. Crow. Necessary? Nah. Narcissistic. Hammer falls. 15 fed. 10 state concurrent. Restitution rolling. Post-storm calm settles. Elena's cottage thrives. Tomatoes ripening defiant. Strawberries for pies we bake. No recipes ruled. She dates tentatively. Widower from the market. gentle hands planting beside hers. Life's not over. Aria. It's remapped. Sophia. Fades to Florida, realty blacklisted. Penitent posts on survivor forums. Learned late. Shine's no substitute for soul. Dominic's appeals crawl. Prison blues suit him. Letters unopened, my choice. Last glimpse. Transfer van. Cuffed silhouette. Harbor shrinking. My harbor's clear now. Calls come. Lieutenant Voss? That fund. It saved me. Fund swells. Seminars on red flags. Hotlines humming. Kendra's my anchor. You didn't just burn the bridge, boss. You built a lighthouse. So as I hum Elena's old jazz in my kitchen, badge on the table, coffee steaming, home announces itself gentle. No surprises, just space to breathe. If shadows call your name, answer with action.